Hi everyone, it's Rax. We did something today that I really wasn't sure was ever going to happen. I actually hit rank 1 in solo, playing hardcore solo self-found in my very first season. And to be honest, I could go much higher than this rift right now, so I think it's a sign of good things to come. We will, of course, be blasting as hard as we can and show completely what we're made of, but after the initial weekend of everybody blasting, I decided to do a push after the rocky start that I had, and still with no deaths, we were able to take rank 1 Demon Hunter, so let me walk you through that clear. So it's a little different playing hardcore. I have to be constantly mindful of dying, because if you die, that's all there is. And this Demon Hunter, I have invested almost all of my resources in. I did start Monk, and my Monk is still alive, contrary to popular belief. And I do use my Monk every day to farm keys, but for blasting greater rifts, nothing is better than the God DH, because Bariza is so strong. So here I have about 8 Augs, I'm Paragon 1300, and I crawled all the way, one level at a time, to 130, and finally found myself at this map. My survivability here is pretty good. I can take some hits here and there, but I can't take chain hits from things, and I am playing with Squirt's Necklace, which essentially gives you double damage, so I'm playing riskier than maybe some people would, but it paid off so far. So anyway, we've got a shield pylon, and when I see the shield, even though it's hardcore, I'm not just going to dive and take it. First of all, this will allow me to proc either my Scoundrel's cheat death or my own cheat death, and then take it to be safe, so there's no need to take it right away. And also remember, a shield pylon will let me infinitely sit in Oculus Rings, and it will let me keep my Squirt's Necklace. That means I should bring as many elites as I possibly can to the shield pylon and then click it. That way I get all that extra damage on elites. So I go to the right, it's a dead end, all right, fine. And in my build, hilariously enough, I have 0 area damage. I just haven't been that lucky. I just don't have that good of gear yet, at least not the gear that I'm looking for, and certainly not the right gear for pushing. So I only have 50 area damage from Paragon points. I don't have 1 point on my gear, but hopefully we'll improve that later. So I am able to find a couple of elites, and now I'm happy. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slowly walk them back up to the shield. And I really don't care if I proc here, because if I proc, then I can take the shield. My follower has a flavor of time. It emanates to me, so I will have 2 minutes of immortality to deal as much damage as I can. I brought them high enough. I need to bring that elite down, and you have to do it from further away than you have been able to do in previous seasons, because the Bariza freezes. And the freeze is really good because the freeze gives you a guaranteed crit chance, but the freeze makes it much harder to drag enemies. So there's no such thing as, dragging someone forever. So I drag the elites from the bottom a little bit up, I drag the elite from the pylon a little bit down, and I do it at a pretty good range, and we finally have them together. So let's try to wipe out these elites with the shield pylon. Don't care about the fire chains, don't care about the frozen. Nothing can stop me. It's just 100% uptime in the Oculus, which my follower is wearing, which essentially gives me double damage when I stand in it. So obviously you need 100% uptime in the Oculus Rings and just to keep blasting everything. Now the thing that I'm thinking about here, which there's nothing I can do about it, but what I probably should have done is went all the way to the end of the map, even though all the elites essentially are already found right here. There might be one more, but we essentially have them all. The reason why I should have ran to the end is it would have broken all of the pylon spawns. So what I'm thinking to myself live in the clear is, what if I kill all these elites and I move forward and I get a conduit pylon and there's no elites left? That's going to suck. But, oh well, I mean, it wouldn't be the end of the world, but those are the things that I'm thinking in my mind. So if I could do this again, I would have went all the way to the end and broken the pylon spawn. Now, another thing I could do if I was smart about it is I could have broken it right now. I don't have to kill all of this trash first. Instead, I could have broken the pylon spawn again and saved it for next. But look at what happened. As I am mentally disgusted with myself, I spawned a conduit at the end of the map with no elites. That is honestly really, really bad play, and something that you should look out for in your own clears. Would have been much smarter to break the pylon spawn and spawn that condi next map. Oh well, didn't think of it, was punished for it, so now I'm not going to click it right away. I'm going to clear out the trash, and I'm going to look and see if I can bring an elite to the door. We have a terrible keeps map, and I can't find an elite quickly. This is pretty much the worst case scenario. Conduit at the end of the door, no elites, bad follow-up, not great mob type, whatever. Just take the condi. Now you might be asking yourself, why did you kill all the trash before taking the condi? Why didn't you just take the condi? The reason why is conduit has a maximum number of enemies it can zap at a time. I do not want to waste these precious bolts of lightning hitting trash mobs. So if I can spend a short bit of time clearing the trash in front of the conduit, then the conduit will zap the elite and kill it faster. We have spinners. Spinners are the most dangerous thing to a demon hunter. They will reflect my arrows back at me and kill me instantly. You want to know what? I say I'm not scared. I'm just going to stick around and keep DPSing them. I'm not going to live my life in fear. I'm trying to sneak in my conduit shots and my shots from strafe. I'm just trying and praying that they don't reflect my arrows back at me, which will instantly proc my cheat deaths. Was rewarded for bravery, didn't reflect back at me. Wouldn't really recommend you guys do that, but you want to know what? I was going for rank 1. I had a conduit. It was about to expire. The conduit was so bad. You want to know what? I got both my cheat deaths up. I was going to risk it, and I was rewarded for it. They didn't reflect anything. So at this point, it's just a formality. As long as I don't die, we will win here. Yeah, we just did really well on that on the maps that we were given. Other than the big mistake that I was severely punished for, getting the conduit at the end. I will not make that mistake again. So at this point, another thing that I'm thinking about in hardcore, which is something that I've never thought about really before in softcore, is imagine this floor. If you go backwards through it, practically every single monster on this keeps is dead. And that is important because if I get in trouble up ahead, I can go backwards and have a safe path back. Because of that logic, when I'm sitting here fighting this yellow, I'm thinking, I actually think with this much of a lead, and essentially with the clear locked up, I'm going to sit here and kill it. And it's going to take me some time, and it's probably going to lose me some progression, versus if I just YOLO'd forward and just kept killing trash. But if I stay here and kill everything, now if I have to come backwards in the future, if my cheat deaths proc, I'm going to have a safe spot to go back. So it's another thing that you can consider in your hardcore runs is if you're on a floor, give yourself a safe path backwards. And if things go wrong, then you can go there. Now, this room completely changes everything. That firewall and those arcane beams, I'm like, okay, well, screw this idea of safe spot to go back. I don't want anything to do with that. I'm going to move forward and see maybe if I can get out of here. And those firewalls are extremely dangerous, not because of myself running into a firewall. I mean, I can see when the fire's up and just don't go through it. Sometimes the monsters walk through the fire, get lit on fire, and then can actually deal severe damage to you. If you've ever had that weird bug where it says you were slain by firewall, but you weren't actually standing on the firewall, it's because the monster was lit on fire and went over to give you a hug. So 98%, I'm going to try to spawn a power. Can we get one last pylon for the boss? Don't see anything here. Let's go next. We have a Hell Rift. Now I know this map layout. If there is a ramp up ahead, which it looks like there is, if there's a ramp up ahead, at the top of the ramp on the right, there is a pylon spawn. So I'm going to get to 99% to give myself the best chance to spawn one, and nothing. All right, and we have Hamlin. Now Hamlin spawns little rat nados. I just need to avoid those. He also spawns a little green ring that locks you in place. So really, as long as I just avoid the rat nados and don't take any risks here, it will be a kill. And if I proc my cheat death, I can just go previous map and stand there till it comes back to lock it in. Well, anyway, I want to thank all of you for watching, and all of those that have been on Twitch watching my journey. I have never had this many viewers ever. I had like 8,000 concurrent viewers on Saturday. That more than doubles the highest stream I've ever had. Just been meeting a lot of new people. People have been saying they've been liking the stream way more. It's way more relatable now that I'm playing solo and hardcore and not blasting in groups. And I hope this shows you guys that you can succeed, even playing by yourself and even with having the worst start imaginable. I will upload the VOD of my first day. You can see how bad my start was. Everything went terribly wrong, but you can recover and still dominate. Well, thank you so much for watching, everybody. And all we have to say to Hamlin for the rank 1 clear is sayonara. Have a good one, guys.